It's been 1 year since Bored Ape Yacht Club dropped. Now in this video, we're going to look at what the price moves have done, the holders, the top profit takers, looking at some of the rarities, and what's happened with what is arguably the most famous NFT project. So we're going to start over on OpenSea. Now it has a floor price currently of 125 ETH. Now when we come down and have a look at the price chart over the last year, what we can see here is that it's had a steady growth, just a steady uptrend. Now it minted at 0.08 ETH each, and it took around a month and a half to hit the 1 ETH floor. And then it's taken almost another 2 months to then hit a 10 ETH floor. From that, it has just grown up. Now we can see that one of the first major breakouts was around that 50 ETH mark. Now this was in sort of late August, early September. Now you can see this huge amount of volume right here. This is when we kind of go into full blue chip mode. Now what we can see here is that it did have this kind of trend dip down. Now anytime some volume has come into the market, now we can see it here, we can see it here, we can see it here. Anytime there's volume that comes into the market, it just runs up. So yes, anytime some volume came into the market, Bored Ape Yacht Club just ran. Now let's jump over onto Nansen to have a look at the deep stats. Now this software that I'm using is called Nansen. I've got a link for it below. The link is an affiliate link, so it does mean that if you do sign up, I do get a kickback. So full disclosure, that is in place. So with Bored Ape Yacht Club, it was deployed 365 days ago, hence the 1 year anniversary. So this is over the past sort of few months. We can see the trajectory. It has been bouncing around that 100 ETH mark. This is the average price, but we can see that whenever some volume does come in, like we can see here, it usually is followed by an uptrend. Now, when we go down and actually have a look at some of the individual transactions over the past week, what you can still see is that there is still some smart money making some purchases. So smart money is denominated by these yellow dots we can see here. They're buying up. So the fact is, Bored Ape Yacht Club still has a lot of runway when it comes down to what they're doing, and people are still seeing value in it to drop 100 ETH, so $300,000 on an NFT, because it is an exclusive club. Now we're going to jump in and have a look at the top balances, the people right now that are holding the most Bored Apes. Now we can see here at number 1 with 112 is Dingaling. Now he's had 127 and sold essentially 15. And the last kind of in date, so the last buy was around 30 days ago and last sell was around 15 days ago. Now if we actually have a look and see what he's holding, this is actually his wallet and what's in his portfolio. We can see here, he has sort of Bored Ape, he's got almost 100 mutants, he's got sort of almost 40 Azukis, and you can kind of see what he's actually got here, and it's pretty crazy what he's actually got. He's still got some chemistry clubs, so he can still kind of do a bunch of fun things there. Now what we can actually see here is that his estimated ETH value for his Bored Apes is 14,000 ETH currently, which is crazy. Then when we have a look at number 2, it's our boy Journey Crypto, so Tony. We can see here that he's got 107. Now he's had 114 and he's essentially sold 7. When we actually have a look at his profile and see what he's holding, we can see here he's got the Bored Apes 107, then he's got some of the chemistry club, so he's actually holding a bunch of those, which is good because they've got a decent amount of value, and he's actually got more value in his sort of serums than he does actually mutants, which is crazy. His total value is 3,300 ETH when it comes down to the value of his apes. Now what we're going to jump into now is these holders over time and what they kind of look like. Now what we can see here is that on the left, we have this seniority distribution. What this means is it means the amount of people that have kind of held it for particular amounts of time. Now we can see here that essentially 73% of the NFTs have been held over 90 days. So this shows that a lot of people are buying this and holding this and see this as a long-term hold. There are some people sort of buying and flipping, but the majority of people are just holding. Now, when we head over to the right, we can have a look at the unique addresses over this period of time. And what we're seeing here is that it's just becoming more and more dispersed. Those top holders are still holding, but they're just offloading some here and there. And it's just allowing more people to enter into the ecosystem. Now, when you have a look at the smart money, all the smart money got in really early. Now, it's funny because they're smart money because they're essentially holding some apes and what they've actually done. So this data is a little bit skewed, but that's what you can see. Now, what I do like here about the percentage holding one NFT, what we can see here is the fact that we see this dip in the beginning. It means that people minted one and then usually got more. So people kind of just kept minting them and go, cool, I'll get a few more, I'll get a few more. Then after we kind of hit that, and that was at around the sort of 1st of May, then people have started to then kind of slowly offload, slowly offload, slowly offload. So you can see here when it ran up to around 0.3 ETH, you can see that some people have then offloaded, and that is how you can kind of end up here, the fact that it's run up, people have then started to take some profits, and then it has continued to run up. So you can kind of see the market dynamics at play where people have kind of minted for 0.08, seen a decent little run up and gone, okay, cool, let's just sell off. Let's just sell off some. So I think that's an interesting concept, where the fact is the Bored Ape Yacht Club holders initially, they kind of are thinking the same way that we're kind of thinking now. They kind of make a slight gain, then offload some, then offload some, then offload some, and that has just continued for a longer period of time. Now we're coming down to the diamond hands, and we can see here that it does kind of run up and run down, but sort of over the trajectory, it does just run up. It's in this position where people are kind of buying in and then do not want to kind of sell off. So it is crazy, the fact that over half of the collection are just really crazy diamond hands. And we can see here on the left, we've got the very top sort of balance, 72, have not sold a single one. So you can see the people that are kind of buying in, over the past sort of year, have been buying in and holding longer term, apart from that kind of bit in the beginning. So it seems that the August-September moment was when people kind of switched gears into this is blue chip territory, and this is denominated by the graph here, with the fact that people have then come in and gone, okay, we're not sort of selling, we're holding off. Now, when it comes down to the fun stuff, the profit leaderboard, when we actually have a look, we can see the top profit taker with 2,100 ETH is Pranksy. We've then got Coco that has 1,300, and then we round out the top 10 with around 500 ETH. Now, having a look at some of the recent trades, we can see here that the NFT is alive and good and still moving a decent amount of volume. You can see over the last 27 hours, there have been 12 transactions. Now, when we have a look at the buying addresses, the top 5 buying addresses, we can see where they're buying in over the last month. And you can see that they're buying, people are still buying in at around that 120 ETH mark. Now, having a look at where the smart money has been buying in over the past month, it is the same kind of deal, but they're buying at around, at higher prices because they're buying up more desirable ones. Now, next up is the rarity and how often some of these most rare NFTs have been sold. So the collection is 10,000, and we can see here that the number one most rare item has been sold 4 times. And we can see that it was last sold 217 days ago. We can see here that number 2, it was sold almost a year ago. So we can see all of these top trait ones have been kind of traded, bought and sold within that kind of initial period, which is crazy because it shows you that people saw the rare ones and go, hey, this is a long-term hold, let's get into it and let's get in and hold it, which I think is crazy. Now, when we have a look at the trait distribution, what we can see here is you can have a look and see that the different distribution of the traits and what the most rare ones are. So you're going bored unshaven pizza, 26 with that trait, 28 with the trait of the unshaven dagger. And then as you kind of go along, you're able to kind of see how many people or how many NFTs have different kinds of traits. So what's crazy, the most common trait is just the mouth being bored, and then the most rare trait is the unshaven pizza. And then when you come back, you can see here the dagger and then the pizza. So those 2 are the most rare traits. So it means that if you are in the mood to try to snipe something, these are the 2 to try to get into. So that is a fun little look at the traits and the distribution of how they are kind of spread across the collection. So that is a look at the complete price history of Bored Ape Yacht Club, some of the holders, top profit takers, and a bunch of stats that are under the hood that you may not have known. If you found value in this video, please consider hitting up that subscribe button. And while you're down there, also hit up the like button. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.